so faithful, so constant, so loving and so true.
Hey everyone, it's Saturday morning and I am getting ready to make some collard greens. Now, I make my collard greens with a lot of different seasonings, which I'll show you here in a second. And I got this recipe from my godmother, who's also my Aunt Velma, and my mama. They have won the the turnip green festival is what they call it. You know how every little town in the South has their own little festival. Well, I believe it's Tyler, Texas has the turnip green festival. It's either Tyler or Longview. So I got this recipe from them. They've won it like 3 or 4 years in a row. So in this pot here, I have 2 tablespoons of vegetables oil. Those are all my seasonings, which I'm going to go into. I have 3 cloves of garlic, 1 onion, 2 pork hocks, which I will add to the actual pot here and let it simmer before I actually add my water. Now the seasonings are all there. I guess I could go ahead and go into the seasonings real quick. A lot of seasonings, you guys. 1 tablespoon of ground paprika, 3 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of onion powder, a dash of red pepper, which I'll actually add to the pot before the water. I will add my peppers and vinegar towards the end, a teaspoon of Creole seasoning, and these is what I'll be using to actually cut down the bitterness. Sugar, probably about 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, and a dash of baking soda, you guys. Those are the secret ingredients. So I will come back at you once I have my vegetables in there sauteing, and then of course I'll need to add my water. Some people use stock, but I'm going to add water, hence all the seasonings. And I'll come back to you guys in a second. Okay, you guys, I've added my vegetables. Again, that's the 1 onion, 3 cloves of garlic, and I went ahead and I sprinkled some of those red pepper flakes in it. Now, you're probably wondering why all the heat. I like my greens a little smoky heat. So that's why you'll notice I have the heat. And so I didn't even tell y'all what type of greens I'm using. I'm using 1 bunch of turnip greens and 3 of collard greens. It's just going to be me and my man, so I didn't want to make a lot. I don't like mustard greens just because I just don't like them. So I'm going to mix these, cut those up once the water gets going and the vegetables get sauteed. And I want to show y'all, I made a blueberry loaf for breakfast this morning. It's just a box, and the recipe is actually at the bottom here. It's a quick bread. Excuse all that talking. So then on the top here, I'm going to add some powdered sugar. It's snowing. Yum. And so we'll probably nibble on this for a few days. So I'll come back at you guys once I have the water boiling and once I put the smoked ham hocks in. Okay, you guys, I am pouring enough water to actually cover the smoked pork hocks. So this is going to simmer for about an hour. That's where a lot of that flavor is going to come from. Once that's done simmering, then I will add my greens. I can't wait. I'm so hungry. I'm going to cook some potatoes and chicken, I think. I'm going to put that in a oven with some olive oil and some Italian seasonings. And of course, I have my cornbread, my Jiffy, and I actually mix my Jiffy with this red meal cornbread mix. It's really good when you mix it together because the Jiffy can tend to be a little sweet. And so I mix this all together and put it in my cast iron skillet. Okay, you guys, so my meat has been boiling here it has been an hour, it's been 45 minutes, but I like the way the color of the broth is turning. I have my greens here. I've already washed my greens. So I already cut up my greens. I didn't show you guys how I cut them up because there's other videos on here how to do that. And so I'm just going to drop them in, and they will wilt down. And I will let these simmer for 4 to 5 hours. And I will come back at you guys when I add these peppers. I add this heat towards the end because that lets me know I actually drop the peppers in and then I take them out. I drop them in the end because it lets me know how hot it is. So I'll come back at you guys here in a couple more hours. All right, you guys, to go along with my greens, I have some chicken. I have some chicken thighs and drumsticks. And to that chicken, I'm going to add some, what is this? Some basil, some oregano, some rosemary, some garlic powder. I don't know these measurements. I'm sprinkling in. Some onion powder. Ooh, and my salt. Gotta have salt. I can get it open. And some salt. And to that, I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of olive oil and some red wine vinegar. I say about 2 tablespoons. I'm going to wrap that up and put it back in the fridge, let it sit there. I'm not going to cook this for another, I'll say 3 hours. And then I have some potatoes to go along with that. Just going to dice those up into wedges, slice those up into wedges and put some seasonings on there that are similar. Okay, see you guys in a second. Bye. All right, you guys, here are my potatoes, chicken, and I have some red onions in here. This is going to be so good. To that, I'm going to add garlic. Now, I roasted some garlic. This is the rest of it. Excuse me. I took a garlic head. I cut off the top. I drizzled over some olive oil, black pepper, and salt, and this is what you get. This is so good. My camera's making that funny color. There it go. So I'm just going to dollop this in, the roasted garlic. It comes out like this buttery, gooey heaven on earth. To that, I'm going to put some dollops of real butter in here. I'm going to place this in the oven at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes. There's my cornbread over there. That's going to go in the oven. And this should be done in about 40 minutes along with that cornbread. And you guys, this garlic, I'm tempted to just eat it raw. I mean, just eat it like this. But this is going to be so good. And I'll be back with the final presentation of the potatoes and chicken, the cornbread, and of course my greens. All right, see you guys in a second. All right, you guys, everything is done. Here are the final look of the greens. Look at that. They've all wilted down. That stock there. So good. Over here I have the cornbread. I've already cut into this, as you can see. Look at that. Yes, and I'm eating. Here's the chicken here with the potatoes and the onions. And everything is just looking so good. So you know what? I already made myself a plate. As you can see. What I did, that meat on top of there is some of that ham hock, the pork ham hock. I poured some of the meat, plucked some of the meat off, excuse me. Here's the chicken. Look how juicy that chicken is. Do you see that? Yes. So good. And my potatoes here, they came out so good. I have me a glass of wine and I cornbread. So good. So I'm going to go sit down and eat and enjoy my wine. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you use some of these recipes. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.